Here now. Like, what's up, y'all? It's me, Monk. My name's Monk. Hi. Some of you might recognize my face from the Oh My Life Goods channel. They haven't updated in a few months, and I can't tell you why because I no longer work with the company. But here I am nonetheless because I still have a hankering to talk about journaling and writing and planners. And I mean, I'll be upfront with you right now. I made a planner. I made several planners this year, and I'm here to promote them and talk about them and why I made them. And, you know, for those of you who don't know what Omoy Life Goods is, it's a store that opened in Philadelphia in 2006. They're like the Philadelphia stationery store, sort of, even though they're not a full stationery store, I would say. They're not like a dedicated stationery store, but there's stationery there. And I worked there for like, if you can believe it, like damn near 18 years. And and like I know I've learned a few things about, I don't know, the business things. So I'm not really like here to open it up to questions on like what's up with the paper stationery industry stuff, but I would, you know, I like to gossip. I'm a Gemini sun, Virgo rising, Aries moon for those checking. And I do like to talk. So yeah, I like years ago made this planner called the See You Next Tuesday planner. And it wasn't a planner. I guess it was. It was a monthly planner. It wasn't a weekly. And I called it See You Next Tuesday because I made the days of the week start on Tuesday because I was experimenting with planetary days of the week. And in that schema, Tuesdays are Mars days. The day of Mars, which Mars is a very like action oriented planet. So I was trying to conceive of like what it would be like to have one's week start on the day that you do stuff, considering how like Saturday, Sunday are like a rest weekend, and Mondays are sort of like, for I think many people, like these sort of discombobulated, like getting your shit together day. And Tuesday would be the day you actually start doing stuff. Or at least that's how I was living my life. So yeah, I made that planner. People bought it. It was cool. It was super DIY. I'm from like a punk DIY underground background where, you know, people are like have the override code at the Staples and like running in there to print all their zines for free and shit, like zine fest, zine fairs, etc., making stuff by hand. It was super simple, and I made it for like 2-3 years. The third year, I think it was 2018 was the last year I had made it. I attempted to do weekly, and that shit whooped my ass. Like making a weekly planner is no joke. I definitely used InDesign to do it, and it was still just grueling. Like, did I use InDesign? I did, but I didn't know how to automate the dates. There's all these tricks that you can automate making planners with spreadsheets and this, that, and other thing. And it wasn't working for me. It took forever. I think there was like, you know, problems with it or whatever. And there was this print shop that like treated me like I was stupid, which was really regrettable in a sense that it was like woman run. And I paid them all this money to print it, and they returned to me something that wasn't even what I gave them. And anyway, long story short, I was kind of like, the shit wore me out. And then like shortly thereafter, pandemic happened, and like things are hard. I have more responsibilities in my life, and just making planners takes a lot of effort. And at this ripe old age of 42, or before that, you know, I just didn't have it in me to spend the time to make the planners. But now I'm unemployed and I did have the time, and I learned a few tricks, and let me show you these planners. So yeah, when I made the first See You Next Tuesday planners. They were like 8.5 by 11 folded, like a classic zine. It was monthly. It was like month on the bottom and memo space on the top, kind of exactly copying off of the what is it, Mark's notebook calendars, which the store that I worked at sold, and I was always having to promote and like take photos of and write copy about and all this stuff. And then like in the following years, I made ones that fit into traveler's notebooks because I was working as a stationery store at that store, and we sold traveler's notebooks, and traveler's notebooks are this size, right? They make a passport size. It's passport size, right? And like a 8.5 by 11. I don't have one handy. An 8.5 sheet of 8.5. Oh wait, is this it? Here's a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded in half, right? And here's a traveler's notebook, and like you can't just fold this in half and put that in there. And I was like, oh, I'm using a traveler's notebook. I want to make a planner. I'm gonna make a planner, and the traveler's company that produces the traveler's notebook official, like there's lots of copycats ever since they came out in 2006. Their sort of style has always been like, you know, like old world. I mean, it's evolved over the years, but I feel like when it started, it's like old world map, dark wood, brass, warm tones, and serif typography on all of their stuff, which like, look at me. I'm not exactly the oiled, warm color leather. I'm here with all this like bright colors and metal, and in a lot of other videos that were made that I appeared in for the other company, I was always talking about how I'm like I have this like cyber aesthetic. So yeah, when I made the See You Next Tuesday planners that fit into traveler's notebooks, it was like sans serif, like not quite MUJI because I'm a MUJI stan. I'm a super MUJI stan, question mark. Oh, you know what? Oh, side note, over the years, like working in the industry and reading stationery magazines and things like that, it's been I have realized that MUJI often just makes dupes of really popular products that are made in Japan and elsewhere. And the way people are like, oh, MUJI, it's like, actually there was somebody doing this before, but MUJI just made the unbranded version. So that's a sidebar, but I'm getting a little chilly. Okay, cozy. The planners that I've made are like a standard Gregorian planner. It comes in I'm calling it A5 narrow and A5. It's hot. So that's like 2026. It's already started. I have some, I'm printing them on demand. I'm making this stuff at home. I'm a longtime zine maker and like what is it called? Self-publisher. I'm like a sci-fi fantasy writer. I'm like kind of known around, I'm like a known trans writer out here in these cyber streets and regular streets. And I have had like equipment to make stuff. So this is not something that I like designed and sent off somewhere to make. The paper inside is the Kokuyo business paper, which it's like, I don't go on Amazon like looking for shit most of the time, but I was like curious if there was A4 paper that I could get to make an A5, because half of an A4 is an A5, because I wanted to make A5 planners, right? Because I know A5 size, this size right here. And for reference, here's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It's like very similar, but slightly different. But A5 is a popular size in the United States. I went on Amazon looking for paper, A4 paper, and found that Kokuyo is out here advertising its own business printer paper as being suitable for journals and like handmade diaries and things like that. So I was like, oh my God, it's on. I'm making planners this year. I got the paper. It's like 65 GSM paper, which is quite thin compared to normal, like standard copy paper, which is like 80 GSM. All that to say, like the book has more pages and is not as thick because of the weight difference. I don't know if you care about this info, but yeah, I made so it has nice paper. It's got a sewn binding that I did on my sewing machine. It's meticulous AF. I'm a Virgo rising, if you know what that's about. And like I came out with that and announced it on the internet, and people liked it, and that was great because I put a lot of effort into making this first year. And like that all came and went. So I made these what I'm calling Gregorian planners. The Gregorian calendar year is like, I think, Roman Catholic in origin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why we have January through December, and why the new year starts in the middle of winter, strangely, and so on and so forth. When in many, many other cultures, new year starts when spring starts, right? Or like the first new moon of the blah, blah, blah. I actually don't know the lunar new year cycle. I know it happens on a new moon, I think. And like Ramadan also is starting on like the new moon, or does it end on new moon? I'm sorry for my ignorance, but yeah, it's like related to the moon cycle, related to spring, and not this like sort of arbitrary calendar that business uses. And I know a business calendar is different. They have their own stuff. So I made the Gregorian calendar for the girlies that need that, and it's been good. However, I was like a co-founding member of this sci-fi, what do you want to call it? Sci-fi thought group, corner store sci-fi group called Metropolarity, with Rashida Phillips, Alex Smith, aka Alexoteric, and Raz Mashramani. And Rashida Phillips, if you don't know, she published a book called Dismantling the Master's Clock with AK Press last year. And it's full of essays about the way time as we experience it is like falsely urgent and capitalist, and ties back to the transatlantic slave trade and the clock being the master's clock and all this stuff. It's full of essays and stuff. I say go read it, go read it, go read it, go get it, and expand your understanding of what time is like, right? And yeah, I don't love the Gregorian calendar. I don't love the urgency, the false urgency of like capitalist time. I don't love linear progress time. I don't love it. I started to study astrology. I started to be more following astrology before officially like a practicing astrologer, because the cycles of the planets are well known and recorded over like many thousands of years before the Gregorian calendar started. And it's a way, I have said this before, it's a way to like take yourself out of linear time and get on cyclical time. So with all this time stuff in mind, I made a zodiacal planner, and meaning it's the sun's movements through the zodiac, which is when, you know, in popular like astrology talk these days, when people are like, oh, it's Aries season, it's whatever season, like when we refer to Aries season, we're referring to like the sun moving into Aries, because all the planets move through all the 12 signs of the zodiac. But our calendar, our year in the Gregorian year, is still based off the solar year, the 365 days, right? So I was like, let's bust out of the Gregorian calendar time and go into the solar zodiacal time. So my zodiacal planners start on March 20th, which is the start of Aries season, and they end at the end of Pisces season, which is like March 19th. So get into it, huh? And I made weekly and I made monthly, and I think I'm just gonna like do a little journaling in mine. I haven't this is the week that the planner starts. Or is it next week? Next week is when my zodiacal planners start. It's also when Mercury goes stations direct, thank God. And yeah, do you want to like watch me get into my planner with me and go over the details? Yeah. Shout out to Plotter for gifting me this. The Design Fill team, actually. Shout out to the Design Fill team who gifted me this pen pouch. It's like something I never thought I would use, but like, look, I got, when you work at a store that sells pens, you wind up having a lot of pens, and like, this is what I was carrying around, but lately I just really enjoy having this, and this is a Monami stick ball. I wish I had colored pencils. Let's see. I love yellow green. That's perfect. Okay. Cerulean. Orange for air. Atomic tangerine. I know that's right. Earth. Oh, right. We need fire. There you go. Scarlet Escalada. Okay. Earth sign. Cute, cute. What's next? The air signs. So yeah, this is the birth chart section, and like, I don't know. I think it's just nice to have your birth chart as on hand to reference for things, especially when you're learning astrology, or if you're like listening to astrology talks and stuff, and you're like, this thing is happening at this thing. It's like if you have a quick reference of where your planets are, it's pretty useful. You can like start to pay attention better to how things are going to affect you, transits and recurrences and eclipses and other stuff like that. Ooh, love cerulean. Cerulean. For the water signs, we got the water signs. Oh, I wish I had a precise tip on this. Should have made this outer ring thicker. But that's what we're doing, is we're making stuff and learning as we go. Lovely. We got Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Okay, and then finally we have the fire signs. I hope this is red enough. Is that red enough? That's red enough. Oh yeah, I like that. Lovely. Lovely. I mean, yeah. Cute. Okay, so let me see. I know that. Let's find that. Let's see. No. I think, let's see. My sun's at 15, 22. And moon's at 17. My Mercury is at 21. What else? Venus. Mars is at, what is it, 14? 32. My Jupiter at 4 over 9. Okay. My Saturn is at 28, 13. My Uranus is at 6, 45. My Neptune is at 20, 12. Pluto at 26. My moon's at 25, 8. Cool. Now let's see. Cool. That's all I'm going to do for that for now. All right, let's fill out the deck in. We have a deck here. Jupiter. More sun. Mercury, Saturn. Etc. Yep. So there you have it, y'all. Thanks for sticking around. In this era where everything is like running our attention down, I appreciate you. I appreciate you staying with me this whole time and listening to me talk. I hope it was like nice. Like, I'll often be doing things and like the YouTube companionship is real. So I hope I gave you a little bit of that, a little bit of something to think about. And will I start a whole channel I don't have a ambitious plan right now. I move incredibly slow. I'm like low key disabled, and I prioritize my health most of the time. So I wanna like go and ask astrologers what their favorite stationery is. I always like interviewing people. So if you have ideas, I don't it doesn't mean I'm gonna take them all, but you can leave them in the comments. If there's stuff that I said that you were intrigued by and want to chat about, leave a comment, like my video, tell your friends, and I will see you when I see you. Stay cool, stay stylish, protect your style, protect yourself. Don't forget to take care of yourself too. All right. Bye.